What's up YouTube, Freight Hero here. I'm gonna show you guys a deck profile. I'm gonna be doing two tonight. Um, I'll start off with my Brawler deck profile. I know there's been a lot of Narukami on the channel, but that's all I have right now, and one other deck to do for now. We might get Aquaforce and Neo Nectar soon. They're almost done from what I can tell, but yeah, we'll get to profiles as we build them. So starter Spark Kid. Since the Legion focuses on using its grade 3s as part of its cost for its skill, you kind of want to get the 3s to your hand, which is a little awkward early game, but mid to late is usually where it helps a lot more. And you can always Stride, which is a really nice addition to this deck. So I run 4 draw triggers, pretty standard trigger lineup count. I run 8 crit. The Jins are more for when Turbo comes out, but since Turbo's not out yet, there isn't much of a need to run the Jins. And the only thing that requires a special counterblast is the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, where these can actually prevent you from using your skill. But other than that, there's not too big a need for a special counterblast in this deck, or special names. But just to be safe, the more brawlers, the better. Since you kind of don't want to be using Knuckle Dragon skill anyway. Yeah, so there's the 4 heals. And then for the grade 1 lineup right now, I'm running 3 Taunt for Brawlers. Arc, I believe his name is. If you don't know what he does, his skill is when something goes to the drop zone on your opponent, or on your turn when your Vanguard is in Legion, it gains +3, so it's kind of like a Shuki, but it also works in battle phase, so it does help out. It's helped out my numbers a lot right now. Since Turbo doesn't exist yet, there's not as much need to run non-Legion things, because right now in this format for us, there's a lot of rearguard decks like Royal Paladin, Aquaforce, and sometimes like the Neo Nectars or whatever. But yeah, basically these get huge columns. That's basically where your pressure is right now in the deck, next to your grade 2s that have similar skills. So that's why I like it right now. Although for when you conquest and stuff, it's a dead card. It's just a 7k booster if not, or 7k attack. Oops. Yeah, so I'm running 2 10k attackers right now, instead of like 4 arcs, because arc is vanilla until you Legion. So at least with these are 10k attackers almost throughout the entire game. So you can have like a 7k booster behind them and it still hits a good number. Or early game, it's a 10k attacker to hit 2s. Another brawler name, which is, like I said, not that important in the deck. I run 3 of the Mighty Boat Dragoon, Stride Enabler, Stride Fodder, whatever you want to call it. It's there just to get easy strides without dropping your 3s, since you don't want to drop your 3s to stride most of the time, because either you need it for the Big Bang Knuckle Buster skill, or to re-Legion so you can get triggers back to your deck, because I've noticed I deck out or get near decking out, or however you want to say it, quite often with this deck. If you don't get enough early game pressure, the game just drags on. And like if they survive your conquest or just heal a lot and make it hard for you to end the game, that yeah, you kind of want to be able to stride with things that aren't your 3s. And then finishing off with the Sentinels, I personally am running 2 Quintet Walls and 2 G Perfect Guards. There's a lot of issues, but at the same time, this is probably dependent on your local card game scene, because the Cross is still a deck that is used around my area, so these actually help me guard rear guards from the Cross, but these also do attribute to my decking out, which is a problem. And plus, when you Quintet Wall and you call a Perfect Guard from it, you cannot use its skill, because the G Perfect Guards specify you have to call it from hand. So there's a lot of awkward moments where I use a Quintet Wall, lose a Perfect Guard or something, and I can't even use it. I mean, it does set me up for the unflip, but then I am down Perfect Guards, and Saint Blow and stuff exist. So it would probably make more sense to run 3 G perfect guards if you're gonna run quintet walls at all. It's probably safer to just run three perfect guards and then 1 quintet. Cause you can go through counterblast quite easily in this deck, but it's mostly due to the quintet walls. You rarely use much counterblast on your 3s. And then rounding off the grade 1s are 2 Rising Phoenix. I know some people run 3 to 4, but honestly, I don't like riding this type of card, and it's not like the cross where you can easily spam re-legion, so it's a lot harder to set up. But these are nice cards to get a booster on board and dig through your deck. Usually goes behind the Vanguard, since you attack for 22s unboosted if you're cross-ridden. And then on to the 2s. I run only 2 Big Bang Slash Dragons because you are generally not wanting to Legion with the Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. These are just there just in case. I noticed Japan players or Japanese players only run 1 copy. I find that way too risky. So I'd rather have the 2 just in case one goes to damage or goes to hand or something. You don't have to do something really awkward. And there's a small chance you have to Legion with it. And then, of course, you're running 4 Big Bang Slash Busters. Big Brawler, sorry. It's kind of late. But anyway, this guy's your 11k attacker. He also gains power on hit, like this. This gains +3 when your Vanguard hits anything. So it does get kind of big, and then this also gets really big, so it helps build columns. I've made a lot of misplays with these recently in tournaments. I always forget about the +3. Well, I mean, not always, but I sometimes forget, especially when it's when I don't use the Legion skill. It's just like if I'm attacking, like I went first, rode the 3 and attacked. Sometimes I forget he gets a +3, so do keep that in mind. And it is good because it is, like I said, an 11k attacker. And then I run 3 Sky Howls. It's just a basic like Blaster Blade Seeker. Counterblast 1, retire something in the front row when you have a Brawler Vanguard. It's nice to clear the board if people rush you, or just to get something open for like Conquest. Really nice to get the most out of Conquest. I also see Japanese players either maxing out on these or like running at least 3. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm running 2 of these to be safe because they usually cut it down for 1, and they might just up the grade 2 count in general. But yeah, this card's nice. It's an 11k attacker. It's splash 1 almost any Narukami deck, and it's anti-Legion tech, and you do get some card advantage off of it, whether they guard you because of its skill or you just end up hitting and you get a draw card anyway. And then last but not least, for the grade 3s, 4 of each, because you need the persona to get the cross ride, to be able to use the skill more consistently and all that good stuff. And also it's stride fodder potentially, so maxing out on a relatively consistent amount of grade 3s is probably the way to go with this deck. And then it gets a lot better with a turbo because you either can play mind games with it or just hit 6 if they have to commit. And then on to the G zone, it's the exact same thing as all the Narukami decks I've shown. At least for my builds, the 4 Conquest, 3 Zoros, and the 1 Blizza, because Blizza can do things. I've lost to lots of Blizzas, but I've never beaten anyone with a Blizza. Never came to that situation. And that's basically the entire deck of mine. One thing to mention, I guess, is another popular thing for Japanese players is to probably not even run these for more of the Stride Enablers and the Phoenixes, as well as the grade 1, I can't remember his full name, it was like a Wyvern Strike card. It's in G-Set 2, it's basically at Generation Break 1, It's like Chitauri, it can only attack the Vanguard, but it's an 11k attacker. So when you conquest and you have the two open, it's a 21k beater, just as a grade 1, which is really nice. I can see why people run it, but as of right now, I'm a lot more in love, well, not in love, but a lot enjoying the taunt for Brawler way more because of the pressure he adds in your Legion. Yeah, that's the entire deck this time, and see you guys later.